Everyone. If you are a coach and you are looking for ways to break through the subconscious resistance that your clients may have, or maybe yourself, this video is for you. So let's talk about subconscious resistance because we all have it. Our clients have it, and it's the main reason why uh, people hire us, honestly, because they're looking for a different life. They're looking to change behaviors, change energy, shift the way they've been being. And I believe that this is a huge key part. It's definitely not the only thing, but it is a huge piece to really being able to get real change with clients. And I believe it's one of the key steps in my 4-hour rapid results process that I'm now certifying coaches in. And it's something that I have strategically layered throughout my program so that there is a clear path to dealing with the resistance, because the resistance is going to be there. And otherwise, they would never need you. They would never need you as a coach if they didn't have some form of resistance. It's just part of life and part of what we do. Subconscious mind is there to protect you at all levels. And it's really a part of, going back to what I like to call our internal filters. The reasons why we develop the behaviors that we do. Most of those internal filters develop before the age of 7. These behaviors, these things that pop in, and sometimes even before the age of 7, because it can be a past life, it can be something generational. But these internal filters are made up of memories, values, beliefs, attitude, language, and they are what our clients and us, how we see the world, and that is where our decisions and our actions and our behaviors and all of that comes from, is that piece. So it's really, really important to get to really the root of all this, because that is where you get the root of the resistance. Because that is where you can really help clients move through change much, much faster. So here are, going ahead and get on with, here's my top 3 ways of dealing with breaking through subconscious resistance, really for faster results. Now, my very first way, I actually learned this from another coach just a couple of years ago, who, it's not that I didn't know it, but it just, I got so much more clarity with it. And that is validating the behavior. Validating the behavior. This piece is more conscious level, but it helps them move into the other deeper work that you are doing. And the validation piece, you want to help them see why and when they develop the behavior. You want to help them have self-forgiveness. You want to have them have compassion for themselves. It helps them feel heard. That's the biggest piece of validating. It helps them feel heard, helps them feel seen, all of those things. And it's a great segue to move into your deeper work. So validating, I think, honestly, it's underutilized in all areas of life. There's so many times where we are in conversation and we're not really listening. And if we simply took the time to reflect back what we're hearing and validated people, I just feel like the world would be so much more peaceful. But validating the behavior in this way, I'll tell you what it does. when they can view their 2-year-old self and the reason why the behavior developed, they can have much more compassion and self-forgiveness about the whole thing. So it kind of brings them out of that beating yourself up phase. So it's really, really uh, valuable. Um, and there is a way to do this, with it can be so simple. It can literally be just reflecting back what they said and asking them, when do you remember this, first coming up and going down that road. Okay, so that's number one. And these are in no particular order, by the way. I have these things throughout my 4-hour rapid results process, and these aren't the only things, as a way to help deal with the resistance throughout. So I may or may not use them every time. There's definitely some wisdom and guidance in how and when to use them. But I want to go ahead and give you my second one because these are my top ones, not necessarily in any particular order. Number two is guiding them to look at the problem or the behavior or whatever it is that they're wanting to shift, and having them look at it in a multidimensional way. And this is by asking direct questions, intuitively led questions with I use a lot of neuroscience. You guys know this about me, but using intuitively led questions to help them see it in a different way, to help them reframe it. When they reframe it themselves in this way, change happens faster because they're already in agreement with moving it. So I think that's really, really key. One of my favorite questions, and it's not the only one, but one of my favorites is really simple. I had a coach trainer that used to ask this all the time is, when did you decide that? So state your belief or whatever it is, and then when did you decide that? And it really helped. It was like kind of oh, when did I decide that? It really helps them see, one, the ownership and take responsibility in the piece that they had to play in it. And it also helps them shift. So not only when did you decide that, questions about, oh, what would happen if this were no longer a problem? Or what would happen if, you were on another planet and this didn't exist. So asking them questions outside of the box to help them think about it in a multidimensional way from different perspectives is huge in helping deal with the subconscious resistance. Third piece is helping them see that every behavior has a positive intent. Every behavior has a positive intent. Even the ones we don't like. I grew up smoking, not grew up smoking. I did smoke from an early age. I was probably 13, just to say, or to give you a little hint. And I knew it was bad for me. My grandmother died of cancer, and I kept doing it. And I did it until I was early 20s because I was shy. It gave me a sense of belonging. Back then, it was very acceptable. It gave me a sense of peace, of joy, fitting in, like all these other things that were positive. So if you can guide them to the positive intent behind the behavior, that helps them see it in a different way. So, people pleasing. I also want to give you an example of some other examples besides smoking. People pleasing is something that I dealt with a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, that they deal with. And of course, there's a much deeper reason behind it. However, If they are people pleasing to the point of they're taking so many things in on their calendar and they're overwhelmed, they end up with resentment. But the intent, the positive intent of the people pleasing at its core was usually had something to do with feeling loved, feeling accepted because maybe they weren't. So, really getting to the core of that and helping them see how it's benefited them by asking and guiding them to really the highest intention behind it. Huge, huge. So I hope you found this helpful. It's a little bitty hint of some of the ways that I help people break through that subconscious barrier resistance and get change really, really quickly.